and then rap music came, and it turned everything around. It just threw every equation that every equation that was factored in already. It just threw that thing for a loop. So I have a responsibility to the culture as well. So everything that I do in every room that I walk in representing hip hop. I don't try to hide that or try to talk different or hide the fact that's where I came from. You hip hop guy, you're different. No, I'm not different. I'm different as an individual, but a lot of people haven't had conversations with everybody in hip hop. Usually it gets categorized as you guys. All of you guys is this one thing, and that's not true in any field. So when people talk to me and they say things like, you're not like those guys, it's like, that's not true. You should have a conversation with those guys. For one, the whole retirement, around the Black Album was, I got to a point in my career that I felt like I was starting to put albums out because it was that time of year. It was more so from everyone expected an album from me come November. And I loved the music too much to ever get in that situation. And then I was presented, there's two things happening at the same time. It was that feeling, that fear of just making an album because I can, and it was the opportunity to run Def Jam, at the time it was Def Jam and Warner. So it was this opportunity to do something else for the culture, to show it in another positive light, that is a life after music as well. That we can go on and be great executives, and almost like coaches, who knows better about the music than the person who made it. I understand an artist. I understand what they're going through. I understand sitting in the studio for hours and waiting for the inspiration or, just so many different things about making music. So it was those two things happening at the same time. And I've always, it's funny, since Reasonable Doubt, I was always had one foot out the door. It was just the music just kept, first it was the business of the music. After Reasonable Doubt, I thought I was going to make one album, be done, but then we signed a contract with Def Jam, and it was like, you're the only guy who came out on this label. We're not buying a label with no artists. So I had to sign that contract. So that delayed it for 7 years right there. And so it was, I always had that in the back of my mind, and then I got to a point where I was like, man, this is, I don't want to ever just do it to do it. And then it was this opportunity. So those two things combining led to the retirement. And then, of course, the love for it. Like with anything else, the love for making music, and start pulling you back to the studio. And it was like, for me, I was happy about it. Because I was like, that's the feeling I want. I want to go in with making an album. I want to have something to say and feel like I need to do it, as opposed to it's November and, put an album out, That admiration when people look at me and say, like, the first black president, right? Because for me, like I said, when I walk in the room, I represent the culture. I love the culture, and I love to honor it in that way. So when people look at me like that, it just gives me more motivation to keep, to continue to open doors for that next generation of artists. Like I said, this is the thing that saved my life, hip-hop. I don't know where I would be without it. There were no backup plans, So for me, it's very important. And when people recognize that, it just lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. And, I accept that. And once again, I'm not perfect, and I'm going to do some dumb shit, like say shit on the thing and everything. But, I accept that as well. Like, people should learn from my mistakes as well, not only my successes. That's the beauty of living a life. I'm not a perfect guy. You can take whatever out of it that you choose that applies to you. Some things that I've done will not apply to you, and And I made, by the grace of God and whatever angels that I had over my shoulders, I made it through. You may not make it through that same hole. But if you could take what I've done and then perfect on it, then, you know, that's great. As far as the people on Blueprint 3, it's once again, it's still a work in progress. It comes out September. So I still have about a month or so, well, a little over a month to put it together. But as of now, the foundation was made, and I don't think that'll change. The foundation was made by me and Kanye. Then me and Kanye